Alright guys, welcome back. We're back for draft number 4 on Old Goat Gaming. We will be drafting Throne of Eldraine. This may be our last draft. We'll maybe get another one in before Theros comes out. And once Theros comes out, we'll switch to that and see if we can give you a head start with card evaluation, planning, and that kind of stuff. We've got 8,000 gold through quests, so we're going to do another gold draft, and let's just see how we do. We've got 3 drafts, 21 wins. We've ranked up into gold, so I assume that 7-win streak's going to come to an end, but let's see how we do. Alright, so opening a pack with Castle Vantress, which is great card, but probably not. It certainly is first pickable if the rest of the pack was devoid of any action, but and certainly playable. It's going to win you the late game always in a blue deck. Our other options here, we have Joust, which is medium removal in a Knight's deck. We have Edgewall Innkeeper Eddie, which we've played before, as you know. Excellent card to build around. Trail of Crumbs, same thing, excellent card to build around. The only commons we would consider, Reeve Soul, excellent removal, but don't necessarily want to lead off a draft with Reeve Soul or a Fierce Witch Stalker, which is also a great common. After that, Rimrock Knight, we could go all in and try to get 7 dwarfs. But I think this pick's going to come down to Edgewall Innkeeper, Trail of Crumbs. I know we've done a lot of green before, but I think we could go Castle Vantress and just see we could challenge the mono blue strategy, but I think the best pick here is probably Edgewall Innkeeper and see where that leads us. Here we go. Alright, so some good options here. Black is not the strongest color in the set, obviously, but Revenge of Ravens is a good card. I think people agree it's kind of outperformed where they thought it initially was. Trail of Crumbs is a great card, and the one we kind of teetered between that and Edgewall Innkeeper in the first pack. Wintermore Commander's a fine card, but you got to be one archetype there. White Black Knights. Fairy Godmother would be kind of good with our Edgewall Innkeeper. Silver Flame Squire would be as well. I think we might just stay green and pick up a Trail of Crumbs. Powerful card if we can get some food synergies. Alright. Now we don't have as much here. Embereth Shieldbreaker is a really good card that you almost always can find a target in this format. Also has adventure, so it could play well with Edgewall Innkeeper. Red and green is not the best for obviously food type decks. We could still think about green and blue with a Merrileaf Pixie. We have the Truenvale Treefolk, which is an adventure card. And we have Golden Aid, which draws us a card and also provides some food for the Trail of Crumbs. I think we'll take the Embereth Shieldbreaker here, knowing that maybe we don't end up playing Trail of Crumbs if we're in red-green. Excuse me. Okay, now we can get a second Embereth Shieldbreaker or Rimrock Knight. Both of them are good, really good cards in this. I think we're going to go with Shieldbreaker. Alright, not as much here. I haven't really enjoyed the Skullknocker Ogre. Rosethorn Halberd is good, although if we end up red, you know, these are humans. So far I've got all humans. We can hedge our bets here and go with a Tempting Witch in case we go back into a green-black food. I think that's what we'll do. Alright, so this is the second Inspiring Veteran we've seen. Maybe we should be in red-white somehow. We'll keep an eye, but I think we're going to go with a Searing Barrage here. Okay, we're getting pulled both directions. Halberd pulls us in the more in the green-black food direction. Golden egg does as well. Tree folk will work in both. I think we'll just take the egg and see. Okay. Brick here is probably between Return to Nature and Wildwood Tracker. I think we can pick up Return to Nature later, so we'll take a Tracker. Alright, Rimrock. I think we could have had 3 dwarfs, maybe 4 dwarfs by now. We aren't seeing a ton of green cards, so maybe red is... Probably won't play the Weapon Rack. Probably won't play the Weapon Rack. Or the Wolf's Quarry. Magic Mirror, the card no one knows what to do with. Okay, Once in Future Keen is a fine uncommon. Doubt that it was a much better uncommon when Mill was prevalent. Maybe we need to be red blue draw 2. We ended up with hardly any good green cards. This is where a draft will typically, for me, go off the rails because I make poor choices because it's fun. I make choices that are fun rather than actual winning strategies. We could be mono red certainly with what we've seen, and Lock Dragon would work in mono red. Enchanted Carriage is probably the right pick because it plays in any deck. Powerful gives us some bodies. Hard to deal with, you know, sorcery type removal. Wishing Well would be fine. Any of these green cards would be a good addition. I mean, Rosethorn Acolyte may be a good choice with our Edgewall Innkeeper. Paladin's always really good. Hard to answer in a lot of these decks with small creatures. I think I'm going to gamble for fun. We've had 3 7 wins in a row. It's okay to come crashing down at some point. Okay. Now that we've picked this red blue card, I really want to go back and either pick Outmuscle or Rosethorn Acolyte. We could pull an opt and start into the red blue right in the middle of pack. Beginning of pack 2 seems like a bad time to do it, but it could work out. Are we ready to change things up like that right here, right now? I don't know. We can always get an opt later, so we can make a smart pick here of Outmuscle or Rosethorn Acolyte and see what happens. And then if we get another draw 2 source. Alright, shall we just do this for fun? Shall we just go down this path knowing that it may not end up going the way we hoped? Okay, you talked me into it. We have seen several Secret Keepers. They are good blockers. Frogify might be the pick here, but I think I'm going to take a Secret Keeper. See if any of them come back. Okay, now we're into the... We're seeing good blue. I think we'll take a Witching Well here. Alright, we're getting some payoffs. Secret Keeper and Charms Fleet. Blue, we're going. We're doing it. We're pivoting. Right or wrong, we're pivoting. Now, if we take a Sanctuary here at this point, let's rotate our green out and see how bad it looks. I mean, let's see how good it looks. That's what I meant to say. Alright, so far we have 2 draw 2 payoffs is it. So we really need 1 or 2 more. Deck is not bad. What will this return now? Obviously Searing Barrage. That's really it. So maybe a Corridor Monitor to hold down the ground before... Not really any great options here. We'll pick this Mantle of Tides, but I'll be really happy if we get enough playables that we don't have to play that. If this was back in the day, all these Secret Keepers would come back and we'd be set. Alright, we're going to need to get lucky here in pack 3 or this is going to come off the rails. Okay. Sometimes you gamble and win. We still need to add a bunch of draw options to make this work, but this is exactly the card that, for those of you who hadn't played with this, Iron Crag Pyromancer. Whenever you draw your second card, does 3 damage to any target. This is probably the best payoff for draw 2. So now that gives us Improbable Alliance, Mad Ratter, and Iron Crag Pyromancer. We'd love to have this Lock Dragon. It's not going to come back. Doubt the Sprite comes back. Carriage won't come back. So probably the only thing that might come back for this Queen of Ice, Ogre Errant. We wouldn't mind to have the Queen, although it's not a great card. Okay. Not many options here for us. Obviously we could take a Tapper, but it's so slow. We'll take the removal and see. Alright, so we've got Animating Fairy, which could turn our Golden Egg into a 4/4. Or our Cauldron, I guess, if we wanted to do that. We've got Merchant of the Veil, Thrill of Possibility. Could also turn our Witching Well. Maybe this kind of hedges our bet a little bit. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 turn 1 artifacts already, and a turn 2 artifact. And then we've got a Animating Fairy. How many ways do we have to draw 2? We've got these 2. We've got a Golden Egg. Really, we need Merchant of the Veil here, but we're getting crazy. Okay. Alright, maybe we're not a draw 2 deck. Maybe we're a animate our stuff, kill you deck. Alright, we've got enough playables. We don't have enough ways to draw 2 now is the problem. We need like an opt and a not these. Oh, all the Queens of Ice we can handle. Man, we needed back a Thrill of Possibility or something like that. Okay. Alright, so we ended up with a draw 2 deck that doesn't have enough ways to draw 2. And so we're going to have to rely on, we're going to have Iron Crag Pyromancer out, which is a great card. And unless we can keep the Lock Dragon on the field, which very rarely happens. Maybe we're relying on our Animating Fairy to come through also and get that early form of damage. So what are we going to cut here? Probably a Jousting Knight, probably a 7 Dwarfs. Do we need 17 land? We've got 1, 5. Yeah. Let's see our split. We've got 13, 11. Okay. I think we can go 8 and 8 here. Don't love it, but Alright, so this, as I look at this deck, it has some powerful draw 2 payoffs. The couple animating fairies may get us a game here with one of our early artifacts, but I think that our streak of success is going to come to a crashing halt, which is fine. It was going to happen. I went for fun this draft by going down the draw 2 line, and then I passed over a couple draw 2 options for animating fairies so we could try and win a couple games that way. So we're ready to get going here. This is going to be our draft. We'll see how it goes.